Hey there, welcome everybody. Welcome to Super Bowl Sunday, and here's a little baseball, 1985, inside pitch. This is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV. Thanks for joining us. It's going to be Dwight Gooden, who is 2 games started and doesn't have an ERA, so he hasn't given up a run yet. He's 1-0 against for the Reds. It's going to be Jay Tibbs. Jay Tibbs is 4-0. We'll talk a little bit about him when he gets to be on the mound. For the Reds, the lineup is going to be Eddie Milner, Pete Rose, Dave Parker batting third in right field. Cleanup is Cedeno in left field. Third baseman is Krinchicki, batting fifth. Batting sixth is Concepcion. Seventh is Oster. Eighth is Bill Ardello, and ninth is going to be Jay Tibbs. For the home team, Mets, it's Bachman at second base, Wilson in center field, Hernandez the first baseman, Carter, cleanup, the catcher. Batting fifth is the right fielder, Strawberry. Sixth is George Foster. Seventh is the third baseman, Howard Johnson. Shortstop, Gardner. Batting eighth and batting ninth is Doc Gooden. All right, let's do this. So we're going to roll the 2d6 and, of course, the d20. That gives us some data. Where is that d20 hiding? There he is. All right, let's do this. Here's a pitch from Gooden. Where's my pen? Hopefully this pen works for me. Oh, no, here's, I like this one. All right, that's going to be a 1-4, and that's going to be a K. The 3 will be a strikeout. Remember, Shea Stadium is +2 on the Ks. So that's 1 out now. And here's the next batter, Pete Rose. And a 6 and a 2, and that's a potential error, but the 16 is going to prevent that. With a 44, and that's a ground ball to second base. There's no way Bachman has that high an error. He scoops that up and sidearms it to Hernandez at first. 2 down. So the Reds got Rose back. They got Concepcion in the lineup. Interesting. Dave Parker now. That's a 6-2, and again a potential error, and a 4 may be an error this time. We'll see what it is. It's a 44, and that's a line out to the pitcher. Gooden is an error rating of a 7, so he will make an error on that. Actually, on a line out, you know what? I'm not going to give him an error. I'm just going to make it a L1, because usually a line drive like that is an out or a hit. That's kind of how it is in my mind, so I'm going to bypass that error. So it's an L1. A line out right back to the mound, and Gooden in self-defense snags that one out of the air. And I mean, it was hit so hard, if he had hit off his glove, you know, it wouldn't have been an error. So I don't. The only thing could be that if you catch it, it drops. I don't know. It's highly unusual to get an error on that. All right, we'll go to the bottom of the first inning. Wally Backman's leading off. And that's a 44 on Jay Tibbs, and that's a strikeout with a 20. It's not going to be a strikeout, so we're rolling on Bachman's card. And a 3 and a 4. It's ground ball through the right side and into right field to Parker. Plays it. So Bachman leads off. He batted .273. Leads off with a hit. Here's Wilson, Wilkie Wilson. Pitch from Jay Tibbs. He's a right-hander. It's a 6 and a 3. That's a blank. And then a 6 and a 1. And against a lefty, that would be a triple. Otherwise, it's a drive to right center field. On the run is Milner, and Milner catches up to it. So, read that well off the bat and prevented it. That had gotten by him. It would have been at least a triple for the speedy Wilson. Here's Hernandez now, with a 6 and a 2, and against a lefty it's a blank, so we're going to roll for Hernandez card. And that's a 6 and a 1, and that's a drive. Right center field. and played by Milner. It's going to be a double. Bachman, his speed is a 4. He may score a run here. This is where you got to pull that chart that people hate so much. So it's a double to center. It's going to be a +1. So that's a 5. We're going to roll 2. And it's a 1 and a 3. So if you roll a 1, check the second die roll. Roll of 1 on the throw chart. It's going to be so actually it's a score. Lead runner advances if roll is less than equal to the trailing runner. The trailing runner would be Hernandez, and he is a 3. If its roll is less than or equal to the trailing runner's advances on the throw. So a throw to the plate, Bachman scores, and Hernandez advances to third base. That's how I interpret it. So it's an RBI double for Keith Hernandez. And the Mets are up 1-0. Here's Gary Cart. Oh, no, he's got to advance. So let's go to detail and do it there. 1 scores, and Hernandez will go to third base. There we go. So it's Gary Carter now. Infield's going to be in. It's going to be a 4 and a 5, and that's at the ballpark. And we're going to roll at the ballpark. It's a 2 and a 2, and that's a ground ball to first with the infield in and 1 out. Hernandez is a 3. We're going to try to score. We're going to roll 1 die. Play at the plate, and he is safe. So it's going to be a fielder's choice and an RBI for Carter. Okay. All right, Daryl Strawberry comes up to bat now. It's 2-0 Mets here in the bottom of the first inning. So we had a couple interesting plays, but I'm starting to get a good feel for this game. So as you see, I play most of it, the way it's played, and then of course I kind of tweak it here and there to kind of simplify the game. It's 4-3. That's a walk. A 10 will be a base on balls. So that's going to push Carter to second base, and Strawberry takes ball 4. And again, the Mets are giving the J. Tibbs, who has a 4.32 ERA but happens to be 4-0, which is funny, but with a 0.9 whip. Interesting. Here's George Foster. First and second, 1 out. Powerful Foster. Has not really produced for the Mets. He's a righty. That's a strikeout, and 18 will not be a strikeout. So we're going to roll on Foster's card. And that's a 4 and a 6, and that's a bouncer to first base. We can get a double play out of this now. Let's see, Foster's a 2 double play. Infield was halfway. So that's a 3. Let's see if we got any pluses and any of the infield positions. Well, it would be the shortstop. Does Concepcion give us a plus? No. So it's a 3 or less. It's a double play. And it's a 5. So it's going to be a 3-6. Foster with a fielder's choice. And runner Carter to third. All right, here's Howard Johnson. And that's a 44, and that will be a potential K with a 14. It will be a strikeout, and that will end the inning. Let's pick up a couple of runs on a couple of hits. And we move to the top of the second inning. Cesar Cedeno leading off. Pitch from Doc Gooden, 36. Against a righty, that's a potential home run, but the 16 will not be a home run. So we're going to roll off Cedeno's card. And then a 4 and a 2 is line base hit center field. So he missed the home run, but lines it to center for a base hit single. And it's Wayne Krenchicki. He's a lefty with a 6 and a 1. That's an error on a throw with the 5. It could be an error on a throw. Let's see if there's a throw required. A 21, and it's bounced to second base. So we're going to see that 5, Bachman. Let's see what Bachman is. No, Bachman is a 3. So no error. Now we're going to try for a double play. So Kranchicki has a 2, plus 1, that's a 3, 4. So 4 or less is going to be a double play. I don't think we have any pluses. Because it's going to go 4, 6. So let's see if Gardner gives us a plus. I don't think he does. He does not. All right, so it's 4 or less, double play, and we got it. So it's a 4, 6, 3 double play. And that's 2 outs now. Here comes Dave Concepcion. That's a 5 and a 6. It's a potential walk, and a 1 will be a base on ball. So that's the first walk allowed by Dwight Gooden. And Gooden, here comes Ron Oster. Gooden checks in for the sign and shakes off Carter. Doesn't like that. Now gets something that he does like. And here's a pitch. That's a 6 and a 2. Again, an error, but an 11 probably not. A potential error. And that's a 22, a ground ball. And I know it's not because I just looked up Bachman, and he's only a 5, and that's an 11. So that's bouncer to Bachman, who throws over to first to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left, and we move to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Where's Oster? There he is. Okay, so it was Concepcion, then Oster. All right. Got mixed up there a little bit. All right, here's Gardner with a 1 and a 5, and that's at the ballpark. And a 1 and a 5 is going to be a star line 2, which is a bouncer to second. Oster throws out Gardner for the first out. Here's Dwight Gooden with a 16 and a 1-6, excuse me, a 1-6 is a potential error again. I don't think I threw this down. 36. 36 is a 1 back to the pitcher, and that'll be an error on the pitcher. E1. I gotta see if it's another 2-base error or something like that. Let's see. Field error check on the pitcher, drops ball. Then is a money sign. Money sign says 1 base if less than 2 out, otherwise 2-base error. So it's 1 base. Good, I simplified that, thank God. All right, so it's an E1, and that puts Dwight Gooden on at first base. Here's the top of the order. Bachman singled in the 1st inning. Here's a pitch from Tibbs. That's a 3 and a 5. That's a blank. Let's put the 5 over in the corner. Where is it? I lost the 5. All right, I'll remember it's a 5. And that's a 2 and a 1. That's a fly out to right. Drifting over is Parker, and he settles under it, makes the catch. Got a cannon for an arm. Next is going to be Wilkie Wilson with 2 out, 1 on, a 1-3, and that's an error on a grounder. Let's see if it isn't a grounder. 5-1, it is a grounder to short. Concepcion is a 9, and that's a 10, so there will be no error. I'll go 6-4 to retire the side. So no runs, no hits, 1 left, the error, and we move to the top of the 3rd inning. Playing inside pitch baseball. It's Tony Porter, your host, Cards and Dice TV. Check out my other recordings, whether it be classics, classic cards, games with classic cards, or whether it be Insomniac Baseball, or whether it be the unboxings, whether it be my Fall Classic replays. There's a lot of action on my channel, so check it all out. Here is Bill Ardello against Dwight Gooden. Dwight Gooden has 1 strikeout today. Oh, that's a foul ball, foul straight back. And a souvenir for a lucky fan. Yeah, let's try. It was a 6-4 earlier. Okay, it's going to be a 3 and a 2. 3-2 is an error on the ground. Jesus. And that's a snake eyes, which would be a 4, and that'll be a grounder to short. The shortstop is the Gardner. Let's see what kind of error rating he has. And Gardner has a 20. 20, so that's going to be an error. And EG, right? It was an EG, error on a grounder. So if that fails on the shortstop, field error, check roll. So that's it. Oh, puts ball 1. On hit error with 1 extra base advancement of G, then everyone only gets 1 base. Alright, so it's an E6. And Gardner picks up an error. Puts Bill Ardello on at first base, and Tibbs is going to bunt. Tibbs, what kind of bunter? He is a 3 bunter. He becomes a 2 because everybody knows he's going to bunt, and that's a 10 on the 2 bunts. Let's see, 2 bunt, a 10 is going to be a good bunt. Wow. Bunt rate plus BR fielder. Okay, who fields it? The 1 fields it, the pitcher. No, it's a good bunt. So it's a 1-4. Runner moves into scoring position. All right, here is Milner now, the top of the order against Doc Gooden. Doc Gooden hasn't dominated this game. I'd say left against a lefty, it's just going to be a strikeout, and it is a strikeout. Against a righty, no, it's not. So Milner is going to roll on his card with a 5 and a 1. That's a bouncer to third. Holding will be Bill Ardello. 5-3. Two outs, and here's Pete Rose. Rose grounded out to second base. A 2 and a 6, and that's a tired single. It won't be. So we're going to look at Rose's card. And it's going to be a 5 and a 2, and that's bounced to second base. Bachman over to first, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, 1 left. The error on the shortstop Gardner. And we move to the bottom of the 3rd inning. So this game is moving along. A lot of stuff to look at on this game. A lot of rolls too. This game is known definitely for a lot of rolls. That's a 26, and that's a potential K. And 8 will be against a righty, will be a strikeout. So Hernandez swings and misses at a ball, a high fastball, something that's quite uncharacteristic. He's a good contact hitter. Here's Gary Carter, 1 and a 6 is a potential error, and that's an 11, so it probably won't be. It's going to be a 5 and a 5, and that against a lefty, it's going to be a fly ball to left. I doubt the left fielder is Cedeno, and it's not an error in left field. Well, he's playing left field, so it's definitely not an error because he's a 4 in left field. He makes that catch. So Carter flies out to left. And up comes Daryl Strawberry. He was walked in the 1st inning. Here's the pitch from Tibbs. It's a 6 and a 2 against a lefty. It's a blank. And that's to be a 1 and a 6, a fly to left. So Strawberry sends it the other way. Back, goes Cedeno to the track and makes the catch. And we go to the top of the 4th now. It's going to be Dave Parker leading it off. Pitch from Gooden, a 6-6 is a potential K. A 13 will not be a K, too high. And then it's a 4 and a 4, and that's line and caught right back. 2nd time Parker has lined out to Gooden. That is highly unusual. All right, here's Cedeno. Pitch, it's a 5 and a 3, and against the lefty it's a walk, otherwise it's a blank. And it's a snake eyes, which is a fly ball lifted to center field. Wilkie Wilson under it. 2 down. Score is 2-0 Mets. They scored 2 runs in that 1st inning on a double by Hernandez. And then a fielder's choice. They try to get Hernandez at home. When he advanced to 3rd on the throw home to get Bachman. And then they try to go to get with one out. Hernandez tried to score, and they threw home, and he was safe, so it was a fielder's choice. So Gary Carter picked up an RBI. All right, here's Wayne Kranchicki. Pitch from Gooden. It's a 1 and a 2, and that's a potential walk. A 7 will be a base on balls. So that is the second walk allowed by Gooden. Brings the tying run to the plate. That's Dave Concepcion. It's a 61, and a 61 is an error on a throw. Jesus Christ. Oh, what did I get, a 20? So we got to roll again. There's a 24 and a 5, and there will be a throw from third base, but there's no way that Howard Johnson's at 20, but we better check, because you never know. So let's check out 45. Third baseman, Howard Johnson. And he's at 11, so he'll make the play, and that retires the side. So no runs, no hits, a walk, 1 left. And we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. So Concepcion grounds out. Alrighty, back to the action. Bottom of the 4th. Who's leading off? Foster's leading off for New York. 1985 inside pitch. It's Jay Tibbs, who's undefeated 4-0 so far this season. Actually, it says 0-0. I don't know why it says 0-0. When I looked earlier, it was 4-0. But anyway, all right, so let's get the pitch going here. Here's the pitch. It's 1 and a 6, and that's a potential E again. E question mark. So we're gonna. It's a 4 and a 1. It's an E check on the third baseman, Kranchicki. And let's see what he's looking like. Jesus Christ Almighty. He is looking like a 6, and we rolled a 9, so there will be no error. It's a bouncer to third, and Kranchicki throws out Foster. And that is out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th, 5-3. And stepping in the box is Howard Johnson. He struck out in the 1st inning. Pitch from Tibbs. That's a 5 and a 6. That's a potential K. A 13 will be a strikeout. So Howard Johnson chases a ball in the dirt, and he's not happy with himself. Heads back to the bench. Here's Ron Gardner. He only had 39 at-bats, played in 26 games, so it's just one of his unusual appearances. It's going to be a 5 and a 1. That's a hit by pitch, -10, and that's not going to be a hit by pitch, so we're going to roll on Gardner's card, and it's a 3 and a 2, and that's bounced to short, charged by the shortstop. Concepcion fires the first, and in time. 6-3, and then in the inning, we go to the top of the 5th. All right, Dave Concepcion leads off against Dwight Gooden. Doc Gooden on the mound for the Mets. That's a 6 and a 6 and a K. A 17 will not be a K, so we're rolling on Concepcion's card. And a 2 and a 4, and that's line and caught by the first baseman Hernandez. Goes up and comes down with it. Little snow cone, a little white at the end of the glove there. L3. But another excellent play for the 10-time Gold Glove winner, Keith Hernandez. I think he won 10 consecutive Gold Gloves at first base. Here's so that was 6-4. Let's see what that was. Hold on a second. It wasn't Concepcion. I was looking. It was a 6. Where's the L3? L3 was a 2. It was a 2 and a 4. And a 2 and a 4 is base hit to right field. Jesus Christ! I gotta look and see who's batting. All right, that's really annoying. All excited, doing play-by-play there for an out that never happened. All right, so it's a line base hit to drops in front of Strawberry to right field. So Oster's on at first to lead off the inning. Here's Bill Ardello. Pitch from Gooden. Let's get some strikeouts, Gooden. It's a 3 and a 4. Against a lefty, it's a K. Otherwise, it's a blank. So we're going to roll on Bill Ardello's card. And that's a 5-5, and that is going to be a ground ball to the first baseman. He's a 3 plus a 4 plus a 5 or less, and they go a 3-6-3, and they do it. They turn it. It goes Hernandez to Gardner to Hernandez. 2 out. Now that's 1, 2 double plays for the Mets in this game. All right, here's the pitcher, J. Tibbs. Pitch from Gooden. It's a 1 and a 6, and that's a strikeout. To end the inning. No runs, 1 hit. Nobody left. And we move to the bottom of the 5th. I'm going to be playing some Status Pro. I check out my unboxing of a Status Pro game I bought in 2018 when I think I was on a vacation. Gooden leads off in the bottom of the 5th. Pitch from Tibbs. That's a 1 and a 4. That's a wild. So we'll throw another one. That's a 5 and a 4. That's a blank. Gooden's card, and a 1 and a 5, and that's a bounce to the second base. Oster. 1 down. Top of the order now. Here's Bachman, who's 1 for 2. He's singled in the first and flied out in the right. That's a 2 and a 1. Range play at the ballpark. All right, range play at the ballpark. So let's do that. And that's a 5 and a 2. Range play for the third baseman, and so it's hit to Granchicki, and he should get it because I rolled a 2. And Granchicki is a 3, so he does make a diving play, gets back on his feet, and throws out Bachman. And we're going to put a little star there because it's a range play. 5-3. And 2 outs now, and here comes Wilkie Wilson, switch hitter. Pitch from Tibbs. It's a 3 and a 5. That's a blank. We're going to roll off Wilson. And a 2 and a 4, and that's a star line 4. Bounce to first. Easy play for Rose. Now retires aside. No runs. No hits. None left. We move to the top of the 6th inning. We've got a pretty good game here. Mets are winning 2-0. They scored 2 times in the bottom of the 1st and haven't scored since. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error for the Reds. 2 runs, 2 hits, and 1 error for the Mets. It feels like a lot more than that is happening. I don't know why. But Dwight Gooden is pitching extremely well. It just hasn't picked up a lot of Ks. He only has 1. He has 2 strikeouts and a couple of walks. Here's a pitch to Eddie Milner, the speedy Eddie Milner. He's a 5 base runner. Yikes. That's a 6-2. Another error opportunity. We got a 9 there. 6-2, so we're going to roll on Milner. And I double-checked that Milner's up now. 1-6. And that's going to be a fly ball to center field. And that 19 or whatever, it was a high number anyway. So that's a 1-6 will be a fly out to center field. Right there is Wilson, makes the catch. 1 down. Pete Rose is next. Pitch from Gooden, a 1 and a 5, and that's a double question mark, which is right here. He's batting from the left side, and that's a 16, and that's a double star. We're going to use that 5, and that's a fly ball left field. Over is Foster, and Foster gets there. Now Foster's known for not diving for balls, and that irks some of the pitchers on the Mets. Doesn't go all out because doesn't want to get injured. That's the rumor. And when he's out there, it lets a lot of balls drop in there, and just to the frustration and the ire of the starting pitchers. Here's Dave Parker now, and that's a 3 and a 3, and that's against a righty. That would be a K+. Otherwise, it's a blank. So we're going to roll on Parker's card. Parker batted .312. That's a 5 and a 1. That's a star line 3, which is bounced to first base, and Hernandez is going to flip to the pitcher covering, and that retires the side. 3-1. The way I know it's to the pitcher, it's 1 and 2 is to the pitcher. That's about 30%. That's how many times it happens. Because I don't think that this game has that. So no runs, no hits, none left, and we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Keith Hernandez leading off. He doubled and scored a run, drove in a run. 4 and a 3. That's a walk. And against a righty, he walks at 15, and that's a 7. So he does walk base on balls now for Hernandez. He's on at first. So both these pitchers, one can go 30, the other one go 26. Here's a pitch, Gary Carter with a 3 and a 4, and that's double question mark. Against a right-hander will be it needs to be a 1, and it's not. So we're going to roll on Carter, and that's a 3 and a 4, and that's a fly ball left field. And right there is Cedeno. So Carter flies out to Cedeno. Here is, if you want to do the depth of the fly balls, you can look at the 1 and a 2 is shallow, a 3 and a 4 is medium, and a 5 and a 6 is a deep to the warning track. So, and odds can be in the gap, and evens can be straight away or in the corner, depending on what kind of hitter it is, you know. All right, so here's Daryl Strawberry with 1 on, 1 out. Daryl, he walked in the first and then flied out to the opposite field, to left center field, in the third. Got good power. He hit 29 home runs. Here's a pitch, and that's a 4 and a 1. That's a potential K, and struck him out. So a big strikeout here for J. Tibbs. Call me Mr. Tibbs. George Foster. $10 million bum, they called him. I mean, he played well, but never matched his output, you know, during those great years with the Reds in the late 70s. In 77, he had 52 home runs. I think he was the MVP. Here's a pitch to Foster. That's a snake eyes, and a snake eyes will be a walk. A 6 will be a base on ball. So that's a second walk, and that puts runners at first and second. And up comes Howard Johnson, who struck out twice today. Pitch to Howard Johnson. That's a 4 and a 6. That's an error on a throw. We got a 13. Let's see if there's a throw here. It's a 2 and a 3, and that it could be a throw from the first baseman. First baseman is Rose. There's just no way that Rose is going to have an error number that high. Nope. So we'll make it 3-1, and that ends the inning. Go to the top of the 7th now. It's going to be Cesar Cedeno leading off. Pitch from Dwight Gooden. It's a 5 and a 6. It's a potential walk. A 17 will not be a walk, so we're rolling on Cedeno's card. That's a 4 and a 6, and that's a ground ball and to the right side and past the diving Bachman. Single for Cedeno. That's the second single of the day. Cesar Cedeno with okay speed out of 3. And we could try hit and run. What is that all about here? Jesus. Hit and run. All ground. Okay. Let's just play it. All home run and W rates for the batter are cut in half. All line outs are double plays. Exception of the error ET. If the batter strikes out, resolve play like you would regular steal. All right, that's going to be a 1 and a 3, and that's a walk, but we're going to half that. So against a righty, he's a 14, so it becomes a 7. And no walk. So we're going to hit now. And that's a 1 and a 5, and that's a ground ball to second base. So let's see, we need a really low number. It's a 2, 3, 4, minus 2. So a 1 or a 2 is a double play, and no. So it's no double play. It's just will be a fielder's choice. So ground outs. Force at second. Yeah, it's going to be a force at second, so it'll be, what we say it was a 1-5, and it's a bouncer to second, 4-6, fielder's choice. So Granchicki is on at first. And next is Concepcion. Here's a pitch. Oh, that's a 5 and a 3, and a 5 and a 3 is against a lefty is a walk plus, otherwise it's a blank, so we're going to roll here on Concepcion. 6 and a 1, it's a fly ball, drive into the gap. And after it is Wilson, and he'll make a nice running catch. So a fielder's choice, 4-6. And then a fly to 6-1 is a fly to center field. Wilkie Wilson on his horse turned up the burners and chased that ball down. So here's Oster. That's an F8, Ron Oster, who's 1 for 2 today. Pitch from Gooden, and that's a 5 and a 6, a potential walk, and 11 will not be a walk. And here's Oster, a 1 and a 4, and that is a fly pop-up to center field, Wilkie Wilson. Back goes Bachman and Gardner on the grass, and Wilson comes in and makes the catch. No runs, 1 hit. 1 left, and we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. In the bottom of the 7th is going to be Gardner leading off. After this batter, J. Tibbs is going to be tired on one side. That's a 6 and a 6, and that's a range play. So we're gonna roll on Gardner's card. And I throw the green, and that reminds me it's a range play. It's a 6 and a 2, so it's a range play, and it will be a base hit, and will be a double or a single. It will be a single. Single for Gardner, and now Gooden is going to bunt. We need a low number, 12. Dwight Gooden will be a 3 bunter. I think a 12 will do it. We're gonna move him down to he's a 3. We're gonna move him down a 4. We're gonna move him down to a 3 because everybody knows he's gonna bunt, and it's a good bunt. And it goes to 2, the catcher. So it's a 2-4 out, and Gardner moves to second base. Gardner has 3 speed, which is not too bad. So that's a single for Gardner, and then a sack. I'm getting a lot of action here on the phone. It's really bugging me. Okay, gotta go watch the Super Bowl. I think the game started is what they're telling me. All right, so I'll be there in a minute. A lot of commercials anyway. Here's Wally Backman. So I use that green dye for range play. It represents the green color, the grass to me, and that makes it easier. And whenever I see that RP, I automatically throw that. Usually a 1, it's caught, and a 6, it's automatic hit. I mean, that's the only way. It would be very unusual, anything else. So here's Bachman with a runner on second base, and Tibbs is now tired. So if I get that parentheses, it's a 1 and a 5. It's at the ballpark, and we have that 1 there. Let's see, and that is a 5 and a 1, and that's a little number in front of the plate, and this is a tricky one because Gardner is a 3. Let's look at his double play. That's a 1 double play, so, and he's got no double play, so that's a 1. Does he advance or he doesn't advance? That's a good question. Let's just odds he advances. All right, it's an even, so he does not advance. So it's a 2-3. He holds. So Bachman, with a little number in front of the plate, pounced on by the catcher, Bill Ardello, and Gardner takes a few steps towards third and changes his mind. It's a short throw, mind you, from second to third. Oh, he advanced on the screen, so let's back up. And let's do. Should be like a rule that if the guy's like a 4 or a 5, he automatically advances. A 3, you got to roll, and then a 1 or a 2, he holds. Something simple like that. And here's Wilkie Wilson with a runner on second base and 2 out. Pitch from Tibbs. Call me Mr. Tibbs, and that's a 4 and a 6. Seems like I'm rolling the same numbers again and again. So that's going to be an error on a throw. So if there's a throw, it's probably an error of 4-1. It will be a throw, and it probably will be an error here because the number's really low. So it's going to be Oster. It's going to be an error on Oster. So error on the throw, and we're going to have to check the chart. It could be a 2-base error. Error on the throw, failed error check. Second baseman. Yeah, we're going to infield S throw. One base. Okay, so it's and runner will move to third and stop there. So the throw is high, pulls Rose off the bag, and it's first and second now. First and third, excuse me. And double, triple, single, double, triple. I'm gonna throw. Alrighty. So Keith Hernandez comes up with runners on first and third. He's 1 for 2 today. He doubled in the first and then struck out in the third and walked in the sixth. Keith Hernandez bats from the left side. He's a 309 hitter in the replays, batting 313 and 16 at bats. Here's a pitch from J. Tibbs, and that's a 2 and a 4, and that's a blank. So we're going to roll off Hernandez and a 31, and that's a fly ball. Opposite field, Cedeno, and a nice play by Cedeno, a nice backhanded stab that goes down on one knee. And that's going to be F7 to end the inning. So a great catch by Cesar Cedeno on a kind of looping line drive to left center field. All right, here's Bill Ardello leading off the top of the 8th inning. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left. And we move to the top of the 8th. Dwight Gooden, he's still good. And now J. Tibbs is tired. Gooden is still good. That's a 5 and a 4, and that's going to be a strikeout, and a 10 will be a K, so he strikes out Bill Ardello. Here's J. Tibbs, the pitcher. Yeah, we're going to pinch hit for Tibbs. Call me Mr. Tibbs. It's going to get pulled. And we're going to bring in, we got Foley, 2 lefties, and Walker. Terrible hitters. Tony Perez is back with the Reds. So we're going to bring in Perez. Don't see him, so I'm going to have to go slower. These cards do stick together a little bit. I may not have him here. He may be like an extra player or something. Maybe he didn't have too many at-bats. Ah, there he is. Okay, Tony Perez is up. And here's a pitch from Dwight Gooden. That's a 14. So 1 and a 4 is a potential K. And we can roll the 10, and that will be against a righty. That will be strike 3. So Perez strikes out. Pinch hitter in the 8th. All right, 2 outs. And here comes Eddie Milner. That's a 6 and a 5, and that'll be a K+, and struck out the side. So Doc Gooden showed up here in the top of the 8th inning struck out Bill Ardello, struck out the pinch hitter Perez, and struck out Eddie Milner, leading off, the leadoff hitter. So 3 up, 3 down. And we're going to get a new pitcher now for the Cincinnati Reds. They're in New York, beautiful downtown Queens, New York. Come and check out the park here. Just a couple of Flushing Meadow Park. So it's 2-0. We're going to bring in John Franco, a lefty. Who's up? Carter, Strawberry. You know what? We're going to bring in a righty. Hume is going to come in. Tom Hume. All right. Let's see if we can find him now without going through everybody. I like to put my pictures together. Oh, there he is. Just saw him. Tom Hume will be in there. Facing Gary Carter. Here's the pitch. That's a 2 and a 5, and that's at the ballpark. And a 1 and a 3, and that's a question mark 9 with an 8, and that's going to be a drive in the gap to left center field. Cedeno is going to play it off the wall into second base with a leadoff double. It's Gary Carter. So Gary Carter gets a hold of one and drives it deep to left center field. Got past Milner and Cedeno had to play it off the wall. Here comes Daryl Strawberry. Can intentionally walk Daryl. Set up the double play. And here's George Foster. Hume. 1-5. That's a potential K, but it looks like we have a 20 there, and it won't be a K. So we're going to roll on Foster. That's a 4 and a 1. That's a ground ball to third. He's a 2 and plus 3 plus 4. And that's a 5-4-3. They turn it 5-4-3 double play. So the defensive move pays off. I had Carter at first base. Carter should be at a double. There he is. And Strawberry walked intentionally. And now Foster hits into a 5-4-3 double play. And here's Hojo with a runner on third base and 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Hume. That's a 1 and a 2, a potential walk. That's ball 4. So Johnson shows patience and takes ball 4. That's going to bring up Gardner. I believe. Let's look and see if we have somebody. You know what? We're gonna bring up Rusty Staub to pinch hit. Love Rusty, right? Who doesn't love Rusty? So let's find Rusty Staub. Still with the Mets in '85. I think he left the Mets by the end of '85 or early '86 because he wasn't with the World Series team. Unfortunately, it would have been nice to have him there. All right, so Rusty Staub is going to pinch hit for Gardner. Here's a pitch from Hume. You know what? We're going to go and make a pitching change. And we're going to bring in John Franco. So Franco comes in. And the Mets are going to call back Staub. Let's see who they got. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Here's Ray Knight's going to pinch hit. So they call back Rusty Staub. And that's it. No more changes can be made. Ray Knight's going to pinch hit here with runners on first and third. And 2 outs. The bottom of the 8th, the Mets are up 2-0. Here's a pitch from John Franco. That's a 3 and a 6 and a range play on Ray Knight's card. Oh, and that's going to be a great play by somebody. It's going to be a fly ball to right field. On the run is Parker, and Parker makes the play. F9. So we got call back. And we'll write that. Call back. Rusty. Pinch hitter Ray Knight. Knight. Pinch hitter Rusty's spot. And Rusty flies out to right, and a nice running play by Parker. It looked like it was going to drop in there, but no runs. One hit, the leadoff double by Carter. A couple of walks. And we move to the top of the 9th, so last licks, and Rose is going to start us off. Gooden is tired as well now. He can go 20. He can go 30. He hasn't gone 30 yet, so he's still good. He's going to face Rose. Play an inside pitch. That's going to be a 4 and a 4, and that's going to be at the ballpark. I'm going to read the ballpark, and that's a 2 and a 4, and that's going to be bounced to second base. Easy play for Bachman. We have a new shortstop, by the way. It's going to be Santana. Let's see. I can put him in here. So Santana, let's fill in that spot there. So that's one away. 4-3. So the Mets are 2 outs away. Gooden is 2 outs away from pitching a 3-hit shutout, a masterpiece. And I felt like he was shakier in the early part of the game. Parker. And then when I looked at the numbers, it wasn't that way. 2-3, and that's against a lefty. That's going to be a double star line. That 3 is going to tell us it's a bouncer to first. Keith Hernandez takes it himself, and that's 2 away. So the Reds are down to the last out here at Shea Stadium, and the crowd is on its feet. The crowd is cheering for Dwight Gooden, Doc Gooden here, pitching a 3-hit shutout. He's 1 out away from completing that. Here's Cesar Cedeno. He's got 27, 28, 29, 30. So that was his last batter. So if it's parentheses, it's going to be a hit. If that's what it ends up being. So here's Cesar Cedeno, who's 2 for 3 today. Pitch from Gooden. And that's a 3 and a 2, and that's an error on the ground. And that 2 will probably, if it's on the ground, it'll probably be an error. And it's a 4 and a 3, and it's bounced to the first baseman, Hernandez. And it's probably an error. I don't see him. He is a 2, so he will make an error. So let's see what kind of an error. G. Grounder on an error. So it'll be a 1 base error. So that's E3, but that is going to bring the tying run to the plate. Very unusual error for Hernandez, who just bobbled the ball. And here's Wayne Krenchicki, a lefty. Gooden looks in, shakes off the sign from Carter, and Carter comes out to talk to Gooden. Krenchicki had only 4 home runs, 173 at-bats. Batted .272. I'm going to let him hit here. I don't know that I have anybody. He is a lefty, so we're going to let him hit. All right, here's the pitch from Gooden. And that's going to be a 5 and a 3, and against a lefty, that's a walk plus, and that'll be a base on balls. So that puts the tying runs on base and brings the winning run, or the go-ahead run, to the plate. In Dave Concepcion, we're going to pinch hit for Dave Concepcion. So that's a walk. And out comes the pitching coach. We're going to bring in Nick Isaski. Nick Isaski is a righty, but Concepcion is a righty as well, so it doesn't matter. But we're going to bring in Isaski to see if he can. Concepcion today is 0 for 2 with a walk, so he hasn't really done much. And he's a 250 hitter. I think Isaski has a little bit more power. We'll see now when we look at his card. There he is. Okay. So yeah, he's got 21 home runs. So he can get a hold of one here and give the Reds a lead. Here's a pitch to Isaski. Pinch hitter in the 9th for the shortstop Concepcion. Here's a pitch from Gooden. 4 and a 2, and that's a strikeout on a 7. Struck him out. Ball game over. So Gooden blows a fastball by Isaski, and that's the ball game. No runs, no hits, an error and a walk. That leaves 2. Mets win it. Mets win it by a score of 2-0. No runs for Cincinnati, 3 hits and 2 errors. For the Mets, it was 2 runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors. I rolled a ton of EGs and ETs. Error on a throw, error on a ground, and error, just error. And so together, both teams had 4 errors. It could have been, 8 errors, 4 on each team. But luckily, a bunch of times I rolled really low numbers. And that's it. Let's look at some of the stats for the pitchers. The Mets scored all the runs that were going to be scored in the game in the bottom of the first inning. It was a single by Bachman, a double, an RBI double by Hernandez. He went to third on the throw home. And then it was a fielder's choice on the ground to the infield. They tried to get Hernandez at home, and he slid under the tag. So let's quickly fill out the Gooden went 9-3-0-0-3-6. So 9-3-0-0-3-6. And he wins it. He's 2-0. And Tibbs, for some reason I thought he was 4-0. He's 0-1. So with loss, he's 0-1, and he went 7. Pitched very well. Gave up only 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. No home runs. Neither pitcher gave up a home run. And then you had Hume and Franco came in. Hume and Franco. And that's it. It's an excellent game using inside pitch baseball. It's a fun system. I cut a couple of corners here and there, just to not overly complicate things. I may, but 99% of the game I play it straight out of the box, and anybody can watch and kind of write down how many times I made mistakes. That's up to you, but I don't consider them mistakes. I consider them just a simplification of some, maybe confusing narrative, rules narrative, and or overly detailed rules narrative, and I just kind of simplify it and go with the flow and just visualize what I feel happens often, and it works out. It's a fun game that way. So I don't worry. I don't lose sleep over, okay, did I play this one particular event correctly? Because these games over time they change, and things get added and things get subtracted and things get corrected. You can see the games that have been around a long time. This is a relatively new game, so it still has a lot of growing to do, if you will. Anyway, this is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV. Remember to like and subscribe, and watch out for I have a ton of videos, all kinds of different things happening. I'm going to play some more baseball tonight after the football game. I'm going to play some Fall Classic 1959. I'm loving that replay, loving it to death. And thanks for watching my recording. And please comment, and I'll always respond. And I'm a hobbyist just like you guys. So I will see you soon. And let's go Mets. And unfortunately, the scoreboard didn't have the errors. Oh, there it is. So that upsets me. I missed that. I kept on moving it over, but I don't want to cover the card. So anyway, all right. Take care.